The Brandon Aiyuk contract negotiation with the San Francisco 49ers is front and center in the media again, as Brandon Aiyuk posted a video to TikTok today talking with Jayden Daniels, the Commanders quarterback, essentially saying, 49ers don't want me anymore. Now, obviously, this has sparked a lot of conversation. It's the dead period. There's no football happening anywhere. So anything like this is going to absolutely go to the top story in the NFL. And as we know, it's been a top story for a huge part of the offseason program. Well, with this video, it now has everyone chiming in on it, including Pat McAfee. Obviously, Pat is pretty plugged in with the NFL world, and he gives his perspective on what he's seeing from this video. And we'll talk about some of the kind of broader conversations that are sparked from this on the other side. Take a look right here.
There's a lot of stuff happening around the NFL. There's some drama, actually.
What?
Yeah, we went to the TikTok, the platform that still exists.
Yep.
Has a shot clock on it, though. Has a shot clock on it. I think it's down to like 6 months. It has to be sold from the company that owns it to an American company, or I think any country's company other than China. I think, not 100% sure.
Yeah, that plays.
And TikTok will exist. It still exists right now. And Brandon Aiyuk, wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, is currently blogging his entire situation with contract, free agency, franchise tag. The Niners have another wide receiver they drafted in the first round out of Florida. Who's going to get left out? Who's going to get paid? He's been blogging it all. In the latest clip that we have seen, I mean, this is a big one. Run it, Foxy!
Bro, look in the cam, bro. Look at the cam.
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro.
Okay, so we're vlogging the whole thing.
What happened, bro?
They said they don't want me back. I swear.
Okay, so that's the clip that we saw, and that's Jayden Daniels, new quarterback for the Washington Commanders, who was obviously drafted in the first round to go be the quarterback of this next generation of the Commanders team. He, as a freshman quarterback at Arizona State, connected greatly with Aiyuk as the senior wide receiver at Arizona State. The relationship has obviously been closely monitored throughout this entire process, with Jayden Daniels at one point even saying he knew where he was headed in the draft. They have $45 million in cap space over there at the Washington Commanders. Is this video that I just watched on TikTok from Brandon Aiyuk's blogging of the entire thing telling me that he's going to the Commanders, AJ? Is that's what I took? Congrats to the Commanders getting Brandon Aiyuk is how I took that video right there.
Yeah, I guess there could be something to that, but I mean, it's a bit surprising to hear him say the Niners didn't want him. Like, there's no way they didn't want him, but they just don't want to offer him what he feels like he deserves. Is that what it is? It's got to be the only thing.
Well, did his agent tell him that they said they don't want him back? Did the offer that they made him tell him that they didn't want him back? Is the entire thought of drafting another wide receiver, not getting his deal done, telling him that they don't want him back?
Giving McAfee more money.
Sure.
Redoing his contract to give him more money in this entire thing. Yeah. They have Brock Purdy on the lowest rookie salary possible for another 2 years. So are they giving money elsewhere? It's a wild video clip that we see there. And does Jayden Daniels have enough pull as a rookie quarterback in Washington to say, all right, you guys heard it. Get me Aiyuk over here. Is that what's taking place in the video? It seems like that's what I just saw.
So from Pat's reaction, he's basically like, well, I guess it's time to confirm that Brandon Aiyuk is going to be a Washington Commander, because essentially what he's seeing is the quarterback who's great friends with Brandon Aiyuk very happy by this news. And I don't know if you noticed, if you kind of zoom in, and whatever Jayden Daniels was watching, he was watching a 49er game, for whatever that's worth. I don't know if he's studying tape, watching his potential wide receiver, a little fraudulent slip right there. But I basically, McAfee's takeaway was like, well, that seals it. Brandon Aiyuk, future Commander. But the point of it being is that clearly Jayden was not disappointed by that news. And Brandon Aiyuk, obviously, essentially what today has become, I've already seen it everywhere, is everyone trying to make sense of what this video means, what it is, in a situation where typically contract negotiations happen behind closed doors. But in the recent future, we have seen, especially with, 49ers wide receivers, it kind of spill out into the public, and it gives everyone an opportunity to weigh in, give their opinions, and assess the situation. Because I've heard a lot of things about contract negotiations with other players, but it was quietly behind the scenes. And of course, if you brought some of the stuff to the light, it would have made breaking news. It would have, got everyone talking about it. So I feel like that's kind of the norm for these situations. The difference is that this one is happening in the public eye in a sense. So obviously it's been about 2 weeks since the public kind of narrative has started picking up around this contract negotiation. So that makes me believe that they reached a point within the contract negotiation process where they've hit a stall. Jeremy Fowler talked about it this weekend. I think we could all sense that this was what occurred about 2 weeks ago. And since then, it just feels like both sides are potentially waiting for the other to acquiesce to the ask. Now, it's going to be very fascinating to see, but I continue to say, and I will keep saying in every single video that I make about this situation, is that from my personal perspective, I do not believe Brandon Aiyuk will get traded. Is it a possibility? Sure. Anything is possible in the NFL. But I do expect the San Francisco 49ers to want to move forward with Brandon Aiyuk as their wide receiver one. Obviously, they want to do it at a specific price, and Brandon Aiyuk wants to do it at a specific price. And it's just trying to get and meet in the middle in order to move forward. Now, do we expect that to occur in the middle of June? No, I don't. And unfortunately, I think for a lot of the people who maybe didn't follow the Debo Samuel situation as closely, this is just kind of par for the course at this point. I think, as people on the outside looking in, you just have to understand this is a negotiation, which means it can get very testy, I guess is another way to put it. And I do think that I don't know what the average fan's perception of a contract negotiation looks like, but from everything that I've heard and the stories, and whether on the record or off the record, it's a challenging time. It's a challenging time for even some of the best players that you would think wouldn't have a challenge getting a new contract, but that's just how it works. The team is always going to want the best deal that represents the interests of the team, and the player is always going to want the deal that is the best interest to themselves. So that's just, I think, where we stand, and I think they both feel they have a strong footing in what they believe this deal should be worth, and both of them don't feel comfortable with where it's currently at. So that's why it's kind of back in the public eye. And so this to me just, is par for the course. Like I said, it's going to be something that we continue to see. We'll hear leaks come out from, most likely insiders close to the position that represent the team. We'll hear more things from Brandon Aiyuk, and this thing will just kind of ping pong back and forth until the hope is we get a deal done in July. But that remains to be seen. What do you guys think the ultimate outcome is from the situation? I've already seen a lot of fan feedback. A lot of fans are kind of over this situation, so they're getting tired. Their patience is running thin. And so is that, who's responsible for that? Is that the 49ers for not giving Brandon Aiyuk what he's deserved and earned? Or is that on BA for not just taking whatever deal they've recently given him and caving and maybe taking less than what he believes he's deserving? So where do you sit on this one? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.